All right, so you are considering making a move to Minneapolis, Minnesota, is the rumor? You are in luck. Today we are going to do a deep dive, a Google map tour actually, of Wayzata, Minnesota. And Wayzata is one of Minneapolis's absolutely most desirable suburbs. I can think of no place better that sums up that quintessential lake life that Minnesota has to offer better than Wayzata. So grab your seat, hang around, and we're going to show you what Wayzata is all about here. And hey, if this is your first time to our channel, thank you very much for joining us. I know you've got a lot of options out there in the internet world. My name is Chris, my business partner Trevor, our team. We like to get out into communities like Wayzata to show you guys what life is like up here in the Great North. So if you haven't already, please consider subscribing, bang that bell below. That way we can keep you up to date on what's going on in Wayzata and all these cool communities around Minneapolis and St. Paul. So let's get into it. All right, so the first thing we are going to do to start this video off is just what I always like to do. I think it's important to understand where these places are. So we are going to hop into Google Maps here, and we are going to take a look at just where Wayzata is in relation to Minneapolis. Okay, so the first thing we want to do here to give you guys a little bit of an introduction to Wayzata, I just like to show you guys where it is, of course. I feel like that's always helpful. So Wayzata is going to be, depending on who you ask, about 10 to 12 miles straight west of downtown Minneapolis. So you got Wayzata right over here. And as you can see, it's going to be on that northern tip of Lake Minnetonka. And it's really easy to get right downtown if you got to commute. And to be clear, if you live in Wayzata, you are more than likely making a commute to downtown Minneapolis, possibly St. Paul or some of these other places. But the good news is that's really easy to do. So from Wayzata, you're going to hop on Highway 12, which also turns into Highway 394. And this will take you right into the heart of downtown Minneapolis. That's probably a 15-20 minute drive. Even with really bad traffic, that's still going to be less than 30 minutes. If you need to go somewhere else, so you can also get to north and south in the metro by taking 494. This is going to run you, it's called the Beltway if you've seen some of our other videos. But very easy access from Wayzata to both those places. And the last thing, just to keep in mind, if you travel a lot for work, you may be wondering, how about airport commute? So Wayzata, again, up here, airport, Minneapolis, St. Paul Airport, very good airport, is going to be right down over here. So it's going to be just be a matter of, again, taking 494 out of Wayzata. You're probably about 30 minutes, depending on where you're coming from. So Wayzata, pretty convenient, very easy shot down one freeway to get downtown, makes the commute super duper easy. So we'll jump into a little bit more about Wayzata here next. So when it comes to neighborhoods and homes and housing in Wayzata, it's pretty diverse. You'll see here as we start taking a look, but the area out on Ferndale, massive lakefront estates on large acreage lots, that kind of things. As you get a bit more into downtown Wayzata itself, you'll find luxury condos. You will find some single family homes and a whole lot of other options. But one thing that we can definitely say about Wayzata is you are going to find some of the best looking and probably some of the most expensive looking real estate in the state. Okay, so now that we have a bit of an understanding of where Wayzata is in relation to the rest of Twin Cities, we'll break it into 4 chunks for you before we go any further. So for me, there's 4 primary areas of Wayzata. This first one is going to be this area right around Bushaway Road. This is right on the edge of Minnetonka. It's going to include this area down here, Grays Bay Dam Park. That is in some of our Minnetonka videos. Really cool little park. Check that out for sure. Just as a matter of interest, here's Cargill. Anyone ever heard of Cargill? One of the biggest privately held companies in the world. That is right on the doorstep of Wayzata as well. So the Bushaway Road area here. Moving up a little bit further north, we're going to call this kind of the Holdridge area of Wayzata. It's going to have neighborhoods that's going to be a bit off the lake, a little bit more than Bushaway. Moving further west, you've got this whole downtown area. This is going to be the downtown area of Wayzata, so that's where you're going to find most of the commercial activity is going to be centered in this downtown area. And then the last piece that I would break out or call out is this, we'll call it the Ferndale neighborhood of Wayzata. And you can see here, this is where you get some of these palatial waterfront estates. These are millions and millions of dollars. Anything in this section is going to be millions. These things on the water are going to be anywhere from 3 million and up. I believe there's one out there currently listed at 55 million. But you can begin to see the size and scale of some of these waterfront homes. So that's going to give you just a breakdown of Wayzata itself, and most of the activity that makes Wayzata interesting happens on their main street, which is called Lake Street, which basically goes right through the heart of Wayzata, and we're going to take a virtual walk down that part next. Wayzata is all about Main Street, and Main Street in Wayzata is called Lake Street. So over this next little section here, I'm just going to take you for a virtual walk down Lake Street, call it a few eateries, a little bit of the shopping, and just notice what a fantastic job these guys do with maximizing their waterfront. All right, so the next thing we're going to do here on our Wayzata Google Maps tour is we are going to go for a walk down Lake Street, which is the main street on the waterfront in Wayzata. And that is going to be, we are going to start down here by the hotel landing, and we are just going to work our way from east to west to right about here. One thing I want to call out, because you can't see it on the map, and I think it is absolutely one of the coolest things in Wayzata. It just got completed last year in 2024 as part of something called the Panaway project, and it's about a 1,200 foot boardwalk that actually goes out over the water, and it starts right down here by the depot, and it goes out into the water. It's almost on this red line here. It goes all the way down, hooks up with these docks, and then brings you back on shore right here. So just a super cool walkway. Again, you can't really see it on the map, but it is definitely one of the highlights of downtown Wayzata, so just wanted to call that out. But we will hop into the map right here, and we'll just take a peek. Get up into Wayzata a little bit. Okay, so starting on the east end of Wayzata here and moving to west. First thing to call out is going to be the hotel landing. That's right here. That was completed, I believe, in 2017. I think that was the first hotel to come to Wayzata in over 50 years. So you're going to find that on the east end of town. And directly across from that, there's a little strip mall here called the Village. Just wanted to call it out. If you can see Sushi Fix right there, that is one. Personally, I don't usually have high hopes for restaurants and strip malls. I don't know about you guys. Sushi Fix is bomb. The amount of fish and stuff they get into their rolls, it's a little spendy, but it's a really good place. So a few other dining options and things like that. That's going to be across from the hotel landing. And you'll see here this sign called the Promenade, and hotel landing was part of that. So all these buildings you can see here, this was part of a $350 million renovation project that got completed in about 2017. And it brought luxury condos. You can pay up to $4 million for the penthouse on some of these things. Luxury condos, some apartments, a little bit of senior living, and something like 120,000 square feet of commercial space. So you'll find some new restaurants in here, some shops, things of that nature. And again, that's a multi-block development, so that's what we're looking at here as we're moving down Lake Street as we go. So before we go any further, downtown Wayzata and Lake Street, Wayzata in particular is really it's going to be about boutique shopping experience. You're not going to find Target, Walmart, probably any store you've ever heard of. You're going to find a lot of smaller, very high-end, niche-specific mom and pop style shops. You will find a lot of really good dining options and just some kind of cool cultural spots and places to hang out, like that boardwalk we already mentioned. There's a few more coming up we'll call out as we move and work our way downtown. And as we go, you'll just see big wide sidewalks, very walkable city. Wayzata really brings a very small town feel to their downtown despite being a very high-end community. Cove. So we've got a video out there called it's just walking down Lake Street in Wayzata. Cove is featured in that. Cove's a great spot. It's a kind of a coastal eatery. They've got some outdoor dining options, which I think you'll be able to see, yep, right here. This is where the boardwalk, which I put on the map, it's not here because it's too new, but this is where you can hop on that boardwalk and start walking out over the water. Is also right by Cove. Directly across the street from Cove, you're going to find McCormick's, which is an Irish pub. That's another really cool, popular spot. And just as we go, Just notice what a great job they do with their waterfront. The whole wing, Wayzata knows what they have. It's called the Jewel of Lake Minnetonka for a reason. But big Adirondack chairs there inviting you to grab a seat and take a load off. Directly across from Plaza Park is going to be a Wayzata institution. This is Gianni's. In all of the Minneapolis and St. Paul Metro, this would probably be top 2, top 3 for white tablecloth, fancy steak dinner on the waterfront. You can see they've got the outdoor seating. I have never had a bad meal here. Bring your checkbook, but it's really good food, really good service. Definitely, probably, in my opinion, it's probably the best restaurant in Wayzata. Again, just carrying on down Main Street, you're going to see some more shops coming up. Caribou Coffee. We're moving through the seasons here too. Ben & Jerry's, this super popular. You can see the bike trails right across the street. The bike trails, the greenery. We've got the splash pad for the kid, park benches. This is quintessential lake life, my friends, and Wayzata absolutely nails it. So people will grab a Ben & Jerry's, grab an ice cream cone, sundae, whatever you like, walk along the lakefront. It's a great place to come. My 2 little boys, myself, we come here on a Friday night and just do people watching. You're going to see Lambos, Ferraris, cars that you really don't see too many other places in Minnesota. They're all over the place in Wayzata. So just continuing on, moving east to west down Lake Street in Wayzata, and I'm gonna keep calling it out. Just look at the job they do with their lakefront. It's so nice. So as we start getting towards the eastern end here a little bit, again, you're gonna see more of these boutique shops. And right here is going to be the Wayzata Depot, again in our other videos. This was a great northern railway station turned museum, and just a cool cultural point. There's a park on the other side of this. You can't really see, but they've got a very elaborate model train track where they will run trains pretty regularly. If you got little kids, it's a great place to take them. Yep. We're almost going to be to the end where we're going to stop. So again, more boutique shopping. Luxury condos. That's what these are going to be, more luxury condos. And if you move off this way, we're just going to peek down this way a little bit. This will wrap up. Actually, we're going to hop out of the map right here. So we're going to end right on this, what's called Sixsmith. That's where we made that turn. Here was the depot. And then you end at Sixsmith in Maconda. I love both these restaurants. Sixsmith in particular is a really cool, trendy happy hour spot. And this is the draw to the area. You can literally take your boat right up, park, get off, have dinner, and take the boat back home. It's part of the draw to Wayzata. Just to wrap up Main Street, Wayzata Beach, little park, public beach. They got a snack shop. You'll find that. Parents like to take their kids there and hang out. It just adds to that whole downtown waterfront experience. Schools. You can't go wrong with schools. Wayzata is very consistently ranked, not every year, but most years it is ranked #1 by niche.com and a few of these other school ranking websites. So the school district of Wayzata is absolutely fantastic. It's going to serve a few other communities in addition to Wayzata, but we'll hop in here, take a look at where it's located, and just talk about a few of these things that really make Wayzata School District so special. So the next piece of the puzzle for Wayzata here is going to be the school system, and virtually any of these school ranking websites you look at, Wayzata comes up 1 or 2 almost every single year. So the Wayzata School District is absolutely fantastic. And just to give you a bit of an idea, so Wayzata High School itself, again, here's Wayzata, the area we've been looking at. The high school is actually up here. So this is about 6 miles north of Wayzata. It's a very easy drive right up County Road 101. It's probably gonna take you 10 or 15 minutes. Very easy drive. The district itself serves about 13,000 students. It's got 9 elementary, 3 middle school, and 1 high schools. And again, like I mentioned, it is absolutely a top performing district year in and year out. So we'll just poke around at it. I don't know about you guys, but this looks like a small college campus to me. You can already see the athletic facilities, everything. In addition to being a top performing district year in and year out, Wayzata High School also has a few other pretty nifty things about it. They take a whole child approach to education. They're very big on everything from STEM to the arts to mental health, athletics. They really work to create a well-rounded student, state-of-the-art tech. They're very big on one-to-one with student to devices and just the facilities themselves. They have a program called the High School to Career Pathways, which gives their students an opportunity to get out into the community and get some real world experience while they are still in school. Yeah, it's obviously up for you to decide, but the high school gets nothing but, generally speaking, very good reviews. It's very accessible from the community itself, just a quick 6 miles north of downtown Wayzata. If you've watched some of our other videos on Edina and Minnetonka, you've seen this reoccurring theme about parks and recreation. That's certainly the case with Wayzata as well. Being centered around Lake Minnetonka, this 14,500 acre body of water, most of Wayzata and a lot of their outdoor experience is going to be set up to enjoy and maximize Lake Minnetonka. So we'll hop in here, we'll take a look at the parks, recreation. There's a really cool yacht club out in Wayzata for you sailors, and a few other awesome things we're going to take a look at here. We're just going to chat a little bit about parks and recreation, outdoor lifestyle, because that is a very big theme with Wayzata, and why wouldn't it be when you've got a lake like this? So, there is the obvious of living on the lake, right? You've got great fishing, and Lake Minnetonka is actually a sneaky good fishing lake. If you're into muskie, walleye, bass, things like that, 14,500 acres, gets over 100 feet deep. It's a sneaky good fishing lake. So you've got that, you've got the water sports, things that you would expect to come with a community on the lake. But you've got some specifically really cool points as well. One that I just want to show you guys right here on the east end of town is the Wayzata Yacht Club. And believe it or not, this is one of the bigger competitive racing organizations in the United States. I believe they do something like 65 different regattas every year, something like 130 different boats that take part in these racing. So if you are a sailor, just be aware this is right on your doorstep. Pretty cool spot, pretty cool thing to check out. As you move into town, of course, Wayzata's got not big parks, but they've got all kinds of little parks and green space all along their waterfront with walking trails. The whole community is really walkable. We already talked about the depot a little bit. Getting down to the other end of town is the Wayzata Beach. This is a spot in town right on the lake. It's public. It's a great, easy place to take the kids to go swim. There's a snack shop, there's lifeguards, there's docks. It gets real busy. Again, check out our Walk Down Lake Street video in Wayzata, because we have a lot more of this in there. There's a playground there, but a really nice community park you will find right in town. And then a couple other ones that I just want to show you guys that are a little bit less obvious, and we'll see if I can get them here. Dakota Trail, which starts in Wayzata, and for the purposes of this video anyway, we're going to say it starts right about here on the corner of Ferndale and Shoreline Drive. And this trail will start and it will take you out of town. Now, I'm not going to be able to fit it all on the map, but you can see it here hidden in the trees. So this trail will take you way out west. Really nice trail to go. It'll run you down here, so it'll give you a lot of great lake views as it just continues to snake its way out west, get you out into the country a little bit. The other cool one is going to be the Luce Line Trail, and that's going to be just on the northern part of Wayzata. And I'm going to zoom this map out here back again. But again, like Dakota Trail, Luce Line is going to go east, and you can take this way into the metro if you want to go east. And you can also then take it way out west, and again, this is gonna go farther than you want to go probably. So you've got two very extensive biking, walking trails right on the doorsteps of Wayzata, along with that awesome lake. All right, so the last section of this video is just going to be looking at some real estate in Wayzata, and as I've already mentioned, you are going to find some of the most beautiful and most expensive real estate in the state of Minnesota, absolutely in Wayzata. So we're going to use the MLS here. I'm just going to go through a few different parts of town. You guys will be able to see some various housing options, what your money gets you, where these homes are located, and things of that nature. So let's jump in and take a look. So the last thing I really want to get into just for this video is just going to be a little bit of the real estate in Wayzata. One more thing before we do that, even because I haven't spent much attention to it. We spent most of our time speaking about Lake Street, which is the main street on the lake in Wayzata. That is the coolest part of the town, frankly. But just to make sure it's obvious, Wayzata does have a more centralized main street as well. Wayzata Boulevard, that's going to run right through downtown Wayzata. And I'm just calling this out just so you know, because it does have a few important basics. That's where you're going to find the grocery store in Wayzata. Things like gas stations, banks, all that kind of stuff. Well, Wayzata, for the most part, does a nice job of keeping those things off their waterfront. So some of those less flashy businesses, we'll call them, a few restaurants, the grocery stores, you're going to find more on that Wayzata Boulevard versus Lake Street on the waterfront. Let's take a look at the real estate here a little bit in Wayzata and just give you an idea. As I mentioned, median home value is about 1.1 million, and it's, if you start looking around here, boy, that even seems low because you don't see much that gives you numbers that look like that. So out here in this Ferndale area, you're going to find, this is where you're going to find a lot of these big lakefront estates. The stuff as you get into downtown Wayzata, downtown proper, kind of this area, which is hemmed in right in here, this is more likely to be a lot of luxury condos, maybe a few townhomes, things of that nature. So here's a pretty good example right on Lake Street. Started off at $2.5 million, can be yours currently for $2 million, but this is a 2-bedroom, 3-bathroom, built in 2018. So that's what you're going to find a lot of downtown in Wayzata. So just to give you guys an idea of prices, again, I said median house value is 1.2, but when you start moving around, there's not a whole lot that looks to be even at that median home value. Getting out here on the other end of town a little bit on this Bushel Way Road, 2024 build, or this looks like it's to be built, so we want to find a completed home. 3.9 million, non-lakeshore, 6,500 square feet. The purpose of this was just to give you an idea of the flavor, the few different sections, the sprawling lakefront estates you will find along Bushel Way in Ferndale, and more the luxury kind of townhomes and condos that you will find downtown Wayzata proper. All right, my friends, that is going to do it for this video today. Thank you for joining me as always. My name is Chris. I really appreciate you guys spending time on our channel. I know you have lots of options out there in the interwebs, so again, just really appreciate it. I want to make this meaningful to you guys. Our contact information is below. Questions, comments, sarcasm, you got it, drop them below. If you're moving 2 days, 2 years, 2 weeks, 2 months, it does not matter. We want to hear from you guys. I'd love to do some videos on what gets you excited. So till the next time, we'll see you around. Thanks.